Hi, this is Cherie with rehashfiber. Join me today as the rehashfiber travel adventures through Sedona, Arizona region continue and we visit a llama farm. Welcome all you happy fiber artists. We're going to continue exploring in Arizona today. First thing, I am going to show you some more of the beautiful Arizona scenery. I took a hike one day to Devil's Bridge. It was a great walk through the wilderness. Towards the end, there was a scramble up to get to the rock formations. And then there is this magnificent rock formation bridge with the beautiful expanse of scenery behind it. I knew about this hike before the trip, and I just knew I had to get there because you stand out on this bridge with all that scenery. So it was an intense but exciting feeling. It took me a little while, and then I got out on the bridge and got the pictures. But it was interesting because I sat there for a while and watched all kinds of people, from people that couldn't go anywhere near it to people that went out to the bridge and were doing the yoga poses with their legs behind their head. And one guy did a handstand. People took their dogs out there and sat on the edge dangling their feet over. And that was a little much for me, but hey, everybody survived, great pictures, a lot of fun. So I just wanted you to see all that beauty. All right, time to get on to the fiber art part of the show. I got connected with Nancy Wilson, and she is really big in the fiber world out there. I know she's part of the guilds, she teaches, she's got the llama farm. And right now, I want you to hear about all that she told us about the llamas and the farm.
We got our first llama in December of '87, so it's been a while. Okay. Yeah, I think at one point the most animals we've ever had was like 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
And have you been, processing it and then you use it and sell it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I take it up to Mystic Pines and they put it into roving for me, and then I use it myself and I sell it and that sort of thing.
How many alpaca and how many llama do you have?
3 alpacas of ours, and then we have 10 llamas, 8 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
That's DiMaggio, yes. And you think that, oh yes, you think that she's going to bring you grain. Yes, don't you? Oh yes, you silly boy. You're a silly boy. Yes.
Oh,
that's
my.
Dolly. She's one that the last llamas that we got from New Mexico. A friend of ours who, they're avid hikers and use llamas for packing, and they're breeding for pack style llamas, so they really aren't interested in fiber at all.
Oh, my.
They like the more Cara style llama. So they had seen these llamas when they were out looking for pack llamas and said, these aren't really interesting to us, but we'll let our friends know. And so it's like, yeah, they are interesting. So I went over, I actually ended up making 2 trips. One trip I got the 3 girls, so that's Dolly, and then over, that's actually not so. And then the one with the ears back is Tina, and then the one in the back that's got her nose down trying to get some of that hay is Madeline. Yes. Hello, Iola. Yes. And then we got surprises, and it's coming up on 2 years now. So Lorenzo, the male, was in with the 3 girls, and I think he's your son. Is that how it works? Anyway, it's not much of a family tree. Lorenzo bred 2 of his, so he's like uncle and dad on the 2 babies. And so so we got one Surrey style out of the Surrey mom, and the other one, where's Morso? So I ended up calling him Not So and More So. It was Not So Fluffy and More So Fluffy. It just kind of stuck. Oh yes.
Those eyelashes.
Yes.
Oh, and your fur. Ooh la la.
Come here, Morso. Yeah, and it's funny, the 3 girls that we got from New Mexico tend to hang out together. Hello.
So pretty.
Hello. Oh, you're a good girl, Madeline. Yeah, you're a good girl.
Cute.
Put your ears back up, sweetie. Yeah, that's better. Be nice to me. Yeah, remember, be nice to me. So that's Mom, and she's still like, can I, is there still any under there? After a year, almost 2 years.
Huh.
I came home from a guild meeting and went to do the feeding, and it was like, oh my, what's that on the ground? And I went over to that was on the ground. It's like, oh my, we have a baby.
Oh.
And then the next month, actually I should have named them after the guild meetings, but because I think it was a guild meeting the next month I came, and not so, or more so, was out on the pasture. It's like, oh my. So then it became, is Mama Tina going to drop one? But you didn't. No, you didn't. You just said no. Yeah, so your daughters are promiscuous, but not you.
For the llamas, what are the types of llamas? You said there's Surrey?
There's, in the alpaca world, they've actually differentiated two breeds, the Huacaya and the Surrey. And it's not necessarily like if you put two Surreys together, you're always going to get a Surrey. So, so I think you have to have them screened to be registered as a Surrey alpaca. And then with the llamas, it's more a matter of like the Cara, CCARA is like the original type, the classic pack llama, hardly any fiber, tall, and great for carrying pack stuff. And then the rest, it's just kind of the amount of wool they have.
Okay.
And a lot of the terminology that llama and alpaca people use are just, they're not real scientific, because when llamas became popular in the mid 80s, it was a lot of people that didn't have livestock backgrounds, so it was like, okay, they're giving birth. It's a girl or a boy, and it's a cria when it's for, which is Spanish for baby. So it's not like we use foaling and it's a colt or a filly and that kind of stuff. And technically it's a hair fiber. We call it wool just because kind of the same sort of thing. It's like, okay, it's fiber, it's technically hair, but we're going to just call it wool. And they tend to just have one baby a year. For a long time, there was a guy in New Mexico that had a llama that every year gave twins, and both of them survive, which is unusual, because usually if you've got twins, either one or both will die, because there's just, there's not a lot of room in there. When you look at a llama that is pregnant, you just, they don't really show it, and so it's, you look underneath at the udder, and it's like, okay, the udder's getting big, which for a teeny tiny udder, they don't have much of an udder, but it's enough for the babies. Another nice thing about llamas and alpacas is that, we were in Phoenix and didn't get home until, I think it was close to 10 last night, and I always do the feeding in the evening, just because when we got llamas, I was working full time, and so my husband's not much of a morning person, so it was like, okay, we'll just feed in the evening, and that way, because oftentimes the first thing that you'll know as far as if somebody's got a problem health-wise or something is that they won't go to their food. So we thought it was real important that we both be around them when we do the feeding. So we ended up doing the feeding at night. And they can only process 1% of their body weight in dry matter a day. And so they don't tend to overeat or colic and things like that. So that's good. And they do really well on grass hay. This is orchard grass that we get. We get it from a feed store that I think gets it from Colorado. There used to be a shearing group that would come out from the New York area back east, and they'd have a tour of the ranches on their way and come here, and because we need our animals shorn before they're even ready back there. They could come out here, shear some animals, and keep us in fleece and ready for the summer, and then they'd be able to be back and shear back there when they get around to needing it done too. And now there's also a couple guys in the state. One of the guys is he the owner of Mystic Pines? I think he's their son-in-law, that he does shearing. And then there's another guy in Phoenix that does shearing, and he'll come up and do that.
And then they check the teeth and see if they
Yeah,
need to
they'll
be...
check teeth and toenails, and then they can do vaccinations if you have the shots already and everything. So I used to do it myself, and I'd use some Fiskars, the spring-loaded scissors, because they would open by themselves. And then I had them out, or I think I was helping a friend at her ranch. It's like, they can get a lot closer, and so therefore more staple length than what I'm able to do, and they'll trim toenails and teeth, and it just makes more sense. And they'll do it in a fraction of the time that it would take me.
Paying someone to do their profession makes your
right.
life easier.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. Get my harvest all at one time, and
yeah.
I've used the mill up in Flagstaff for a while, and so they know what I need to, and so I'll keep it, kind of group it by colors so that I have sort of a whitish, a mid-brown, tannish, and then a darker. And then they work up the percentages so that I know what that is. This year, for the first time, I had them blend it with merino top, and boy, it really makes just 20%. It makes a nice difference. Male does when he's breeding the female. It's supposed to turn the female on, but those are both girls. What are you doing? And there's Stuart over there saying, I could do that, I want to. These are Janelle's animals. Yeah. They're rescues from, they were in, you're good at being photogenic. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
They're rescues from where?
Someone who wasn't taking care of them well, and so she managed to be able to let the previous owner let her take over care of them, and so. Do you have an apple core for me?
Lorenzo, you're so cute. Look at you, bud.
Yes.
Oh.
You are a good boy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, good boy.
Handsome. How old is he?
He was 2 when we got him. So he was born in like 2018.
Oh, he's pretty young.
Yes, and you came into maturity early. Normally, the males reach sexual maturity at around 2, and he had already done the deed. We got to the ranch, and he was chasing after, I think, Madeline. Maybe? Was it Madeline? And the guy was like, oh, he's wanting to play. And I'm like, no, that's not what he's wanting to, a different kind of play than maybe what you think. But he had already, yes. Yes, you had. So when you do kind of the backward math from, okay, she was born, that means that she was bred, and that means he was this old, and...
Yep.
Would you like some mulberry too? There we go. Yes, you love your... No? You don't like them when they're... Yeah, you still like them when they're crunchy.
Oh, they taste good?
I guess so.
Huh.
I'll see him, we've had to prune some branches because he'll either, this is what they call no-climb mesh for horses. But llamas, of course, have those 2 little toes, and they can just go up it. So when there's leaves up here, I'll come out here and see him
standing
doing
on
his
it.
little, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's bent here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do Thank you, Nancy. That was great. I appreciate you letting me come out there. So I have something to tell you guys. Arctic, her dog, her Great Pyrenees, when he greeted me, she was petting him and kind of pulling some fiber off and letting it fall on the ground. And you know what I was thinking? I'm like, that's some beautiful fiber going on the ground. So about 20 minutes into us talking, I said, hey, could I brush your dog and have the fiber to spin? So at the end of my time there, she let me brush Arctic. He was nicely tolerating it. And I was so grateful because I got the beautiful fur that I could then spin into this skein. And then I'm going to make a swatch. And I do want a collection of swatches of all variety of fibers for sharing and teaching purposes that, so everybody can feel what all these different things feel like. So thank you for that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up with just showing you two of my most favorite things to do in the whole wide world. Climb to the top of a mountain and spin. So thank you for joining me on this fiber trip in the Sedona, Arizona region. And I'm thinking about what we can do next. All right, everybody, happy fiber art, and thanks for watching.